Nobody picks yet, it's bans. Banning Club V. Power plant being banned, sure enough. Plaza. Seems like DecardCain wants to take Bensen to a random workshop. Maybe Decard, knows the Bensen's maybe a little bit weaker on the random workshop. Although that being said, DecardCain did win 3-0 on Theme Park. Maybe that's what he's deciding on at the moment. Good ping between these two players as well, maybe only a 10 ping difference. Sure enough being banned. He does want to go back to Theme Park. That was a mistake on my part even. So Decard has to pick between Dance Hall and Theme Park. Seems to have caused a little bit of confusion here. Decard taking his time to ban, maybe thinking quite hard about this. Very good, so we go to Theme Park. It's Theme Park time. We're seeing the game overlay being switched because I'm very good at this. We might see that Bensen was playing with Decard a little bit. Although a 3-0 from a Decard in the warm-up means that maybe Decard has the momentum here. Something that's very important in tournament play. And a great rocket from DecardCain, a quick early win. We'll see if Bensen plays the same trick, and he doesn't, he just opts to use it. Not so fast reaction times from Bensen, gets the same item but can't capitalize. Oh, and a great ice from DecardCain. Really on top of his items. Seems like there's no confidence issues coming from Decard's side. Although that being said, a tiny mistake may be caused from front running. And a little amount of boost. Decard really has to time this dodge really well, and he doesn't. He gets hit by the balls. Ooh, messes Bensen up there. I think Bensen might have been going for the skip that is allowed here on Theme Park. You can skip this entire right-hand section. Ooh, Decard gets the one frame and goes really, really fast. It's clearly a big gap between Bensen now. Not quite good enough though, because he makes a mistake on the next section. And a good dodge, but isn't quite able to dodge the boxes that are always on the map. And a tough camera kill from Bensen. I suppose he'll take all that he can get. Even match. Decard does have a ball, but we'll see whether he decides to use it well or not. I should mention as well that there is going to be a 10-minute break after this match, so that we can prepare the losers matches. Ooh, Bensen just staying ahead of that ball. Not what Decard wanted, but a tackle in return. Bensen slowing down. Ooh, Decard forgets about the box. But he is in the lead. Might be able to close this out. Another great rocket. Decard really on top of these rockets today, playing extremely well. Bensen maybe taking a little bit longer to warm up. Maybe not downloaded as much as he thought. Ooh, a mistake there by Decard. Didn't slow down enough. Great dodge though by Bensen. And this might cause another win for Bensen if Decard can't catch up. He decided not to use all of the boost. Oh, never mind. He does use all of the boost. This could be the game for Bensen. Has a bomb and more boost. And it looks like it could be. It's on Decard to lose it now. And it is. Bensen takes the first match. Although a close set indeed. This is definitely not going to be a blowout. Decard picks. And we're going back to City Run R2. Definitely a popular map. And one that Decard has picked before. Although taking an unorthodox route, the pulse explodes the bomb. Incredibly knowledgeable by Decard to know that that does that. So many bombs by Bensen, a little bit lucky there I have to say. So we got tackles from Decard coming out. Maybe a little bit of a mistake. He does have a rocket, could have gotten Bensen early. Although I'm sure a player of Bensen's caliber would have probably dodged it. And a mistake, small mistake though. Makes up for it with the box. We've got some big plays coming out here from Bensen. A last ditch attempt by DecardCain to try and explode Bensen through the floor, but it doesn't seem to have worked out. Really tough here from Decard, although he's taken the lead in this round. We'll see whether the ice affects it. Great thought there by Bensen, covers the entire screen with ice. And another great ice, 2 great ices in a row from Bensen. We might see a 3-0 here. And we do see a 3-0. Bensen takes it very convincingly. Bensen showing that he has woken up and that he is awake, ready to play this match against DecardCain. Seems as if we're going to Casino. Casino being one of those maps that's very balanced actually. An early tackle from Decard, a very balanced map in terms of items and speed. Doesn't seem to favour too many players heavily in either way. And a bit of a misplay there by Bensen, tripping over himself, but he does get the rocket to open up the gate. Something that high-level players do is they take note of all of the checkpoints for the gates, and something that's relatively common knowledge for the top players as well is that explosions do in fact trigger the gates. Decard's ruined his momentum there with his own ball, and Bensen again using a rocket to open the gate, trying to keep Decard on low boost. A good dodge there by Decard though. But we might see that Bensen takes it anyway. Too far ahead. Bensen playing incredibly well, not taking any chances with DecardCain. And another mistake there by Decard. Nerves might be getting to him. Decard has had a history of having some nervousness in tournament play. Obviously, ESL was the biggest tournament Decard, and probably to date, that has ever happened. And nervousness there was something that was a big factor I've talked to him about. Bensen seeming like he's just having a little bit of fun here. Doesn't seem too worried about winning or losing, but that mentality might be what's giving Bensen the edge right now. And another quick win, that's 3-0 already for Bensen. Decard picking Texas Run'em. Maybe picking this because he's familiar that Bensen doesn't really like this map, or maybe just feels most confident here. Either way, not a map that you see very often. We'll see whether Bensen can keep up with Decard here. He does have a rocket and a good dodge, but doesn't have the speed to recover from that. Good item from Decard, making Bensen slow down. Bensen recognizing that in the chat there. Oh, and it comes back and hits him. Doesn't explode the rocket at all. 2 quick games for DecardCain. Although if any player can make a comeback against a player of DecardCain's caliber, it will be Bensen. And never mind, Decard taking no chances, recognised that Bensen didn't have any boost and just pulses him. No way for Bensen to dodge that. Great item. DecardCain gets on the scoreboard. 3-1. We'll see what Bensen chooses. Seems like Mansion is where we're going to. That might have been slow on my part, I'm sorry for that. Small mistake there by Bensen, probably won't matter that much, but a bigger mistake could cost the match here if Decard plays it right. And he does. Decard now in the lead with a little bit of boost. Bensen going to work hard for this, to try and bring it back. Using the slopes to his advantage as much as possible there was Bensen. And he does go back for the boost in the end, but does get hit by a box in return for that. Decard going a little bit slow, Bensen has enough time to catch up, maybe the ball here. Ooh, tough one. Bensen was just in the lead there, and takes the quick route, although not as fast as you could be with a reverse grapple. Decard with another rocket, it might not be so effective this time around. I was maybe expecting a checkpoint abuse there, although I should note that it's illegal and Bensen would have automatically won that match if Decard had have gone for it. And likewise if Bensen decides to go for it in a later round. It's 1-1 here, but Bensen has a slight boost advantage. Oh, and he does go for the item. Very smart there by Bensen to use the ball where he did. Slows Decard down quite a lot. And now he's got a rocket on his tail. Seems to have dodged it. And a great recovery by Decard. He'll stay in the game for that. Or maybe not. He does make a mistake. And that's tough. 2 points to Bensen. Ooh, that's tough. That might hit the spikes. Decard just dodges it. There's a taunt from Bensen. Maybe spoke too soon. We'll see if Decard can recover this. And a reverse grapple. It does work, but it's not very fast. It's incredible that these players can keep their cool on such a difficult trick. A reverse grapple, for those of you who don't know, is when you grapple, frame perfectly, and the grapple sends you the other way than where you're facing. Doesn't seem to have mattered though, because Bensen managed to get more speed from just taking a regular route. It's 4-1 to Bensen. See if Descard here. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a grapple spam map as a pick from Descard here. Something that Descard's quite good at. And as I say that, genetics is where we go. We'll see if Descard can capitalize on this. The thing that really makes the difference here on genetics is being able to use items at any point during the map, despite how fast you're going and clicking buttons constantly. I'm sure that Bensen will probably have no trouble with that considering how high level of player he is. But I think Descard's ability to use items will be what decides it. And an interesting ball there, doesn't seem to have done much. Bensen might be able to close out the round. Descard doesn't seem to know how to do the quick wall climb on the one side. That might affect him, that's something that's very useful there in that part of genetics. Interesting ice, doesn't hit but does keep Descard going into the bottom route, a bit of an option select there by Bensen. And a miss by DecardCain. Although he was in the lead, so it doesn't seem to have mattered. Bensen, a great dodge, stays flat to the floor there, so Descard can't hit with the ice. Ooh, an even better dodge there by Bensen. Descard being really creative with these ices, but it just doesn't seem to work against Bensen. Always one step ahead. Maybe a slight mistake there on the pulse, could have maybe used it better to restrict Bensen's hook usage. Try and get him to grapple a little bit weird. And a long first round. We're seeing sudden death. And items just sort of flying everywhere. A mistake from Descard throws the hook forwards, and as I said earlier, the hook restricts your ability to grapple normally. So there, Descard couldn't recover from that, he just hit the floor. Was probably aiming for the slope on the bottom section, but just missed it. The bomb wasn't quite enough there for DecardCain. An ice from Bensen makes sure that Descard goes to the bottom route. Ooh, and a miss from both players. Descard wasn't aware that he had a pulse, clearly, and then doesn't dodge it. There's a lot going on in these players' minds as they're playing a match, probably quite hard to keep track of, and even more impressive when you do. Oh, and a miss there by Descard probably ends up being a point for Bensen, and it does. A really great, in theory, ice from Bensen. It doesn't hit DecardCain though. Maybe was too far away, maybe just Descard had a good dodge. Potentially a mixture of both. You see there's a difference there in that route compared to what Bensen's taking. DecardCain opting for using the grapple is a little bit slower than what Bensen's doing, sticking to the sidewall and just jumping up and down that. A recently discovered trick, in fact, one that was discovered in mid-2018. Interesting bomb again. Descard using a lot of boost to try and get up that wall. The trick that I'm talking about actually requires no boost to do, so is a little bit more efficient than what Descard's using at the moment. Descard gets a box. This could close out the round for him. If he plays it right, maybe that slope was the best place to use it. Oh, never mind. Descard knew where he was going to play. Knew where Bensen was going to play, sorry. And takes the win with 2-2. This is match point for Bensen. DecardCain could stay in this. He has an ice, he has the tools to be able to stay in this, but Bensen again sticking to the floor. He knows exactly how to dodge those ices. We'll see Descard now, and he does hit the ice. Might not have any effect though, because there's no boxes down there. Bensen staying in the lead, well not in the lead, but close behind. A great hook there. DecardCain conditioning Bensen to think that he was always going to go for the grapple route, and then uses the hook instead. A great mix-up from DecardCain there. Something that you see as a fundamental skill from these players that are much older, have more tournament experience than someone like Bensen. And we're seeing here that this could be the match here. DecardCain takes it, the reverse sweep on this map. 4-2. still in Bensen's favour though, and now Bensen's pick. DecardCain recognising there was a little bit of luck involved in that win there. Bensen playing back on him, saying that it wasn't his fault that the luck ran out, it was just that Bensen was too good at dodging. Opting for factory, maybe. And we do see a factory. We've seen factory in almost every match so far. It'll be interesting to watch Bensen do... Ooh, and missing... This is a very high level strat that Bensen's trying to do there. He's trying to jump under the boxes, because there is just enough room for a close to frame perfect jump there, so that you lose less momentum. Very effective if you can pull it off, but it's a high risk reward. You see Decard going for the normal strat, doesn't try and do that. And a mistake there with the rocket. Bensen trying to capitalise with the hook, but it doesn't work. And a good bomb from Decard. Has more boost, but not an item. Bensen has a ball. Might try and go for the no boost route. It doesn't seem to have worked out for him. I think in fact that was what he was trying to go for there. We see now Bensen very much in the lead. Decard holding on. Does have an item. A rocket is very good in this section. Maybe uses it a little bit too quickly though. Never mind. Perfect from DecardCain. Although Bensen recovers to the top route, something that's very, you know, reactionary. And a mistake there from Bensen causes him to hit the ball. Ah, and Decard forgets that there's a box there. Mistakes coming out from both players here. Maybe a bit nervous. Bensen on match point. Decard trying to come back with a sweep here. Writing some words in the text channel there, Bensen was. Although it doesn't seem to be making any sense. Decard waiting there to make sure that Bensen didn't get an item. Although it doesn't seem to be so effective since Bensen already has an Invincible. Bensen's going to close out a point here by the looks of it. Maybe not. Takes a mistake. Doesn't go as fast as he possibly could have. Decard holding on, but it's not quite enough for the Invincible. And Bensen keeps all of his boost. He can now run straight through the boost in this section. Similarly to Decard, but he'll slow down anyway. A hook here could be quite useful if he knows how to use it. And he does. Bensen recovers very quickly though. Something that I know that Bensen's practiced is that right hand section. Decard recognising the top route doesn't get stuck like Rock Candy did earlier against Trypanosoma. Great use of the pulse there to get rid of the box. Decard knew that Bensen was going to use it there to try and catch Decard out, but it wasn't going to happen from DecardCain's perspective. Oh, and a tiny mistake there by DecardCain. Loses the Invincible and the round as a result. So we see an ice here from Bensen. Could be very effective if he takes the bottom route. Decard recognising this. Wasn't going to let it happen. Full boost here from Decard, or almost. And a bomb. A very good position for both players. Bensen does have an ice. But a tackle coming out from DecardCain. Expert usage of the ice there from Bensen. Bensen knew exactly what Decard was going to do before Decard even did it. Predicts the normal route and uses the ice. Bensen takes it.